Happy Homebrew Wednesday, everyone. Long time no see. Apologies once again for the delay in my video. However, I've had a lot going on, as I always say, but a lot of it has actually been homebrew related, so I've actually got quite a lot to tell you this week. Hurrah! This is my Thomas Cooper's IPA with extra hop additions. Only having a small glass because I'm supposed to be on a diet again. What have I been up to? Well, some of you may know I went to Norwich a couple of weeks ago for a long weekend with my wife, which was great fun, and fortunately there was quite a bit of beer related shenanigans going on. Now I wanted to go to the Adams factory, however sod's law, the tour started the week I came back, the week after I came back. Oh well, one of those things not to worry. The Woodford's brewery is not too far away from me, so I will give them a visit at some point. But there were some good beer related aspects of the trip. I went to a pub called the Fat Cat, which had 32 ales and lagers, which had 32 beers on tap. Fantastic. I had some really good ones. I think highlights for me were the Titanic Plum Porter, which was really nice, and also the Honey Cat Ale, which is actually an ale that they produce themselves, and it turns out there's actually one of their pubs in my hometown, so I will be paying that visit in the not too distant future. While I was in Norwich, I happened upon, well, I looked up to see if there was a homebrew shop in the vicinity, and there was one about 10 minutes from the hotel. It's called Good Life Homebrew, I think. I'll post the link bottom here. Really good store actually. I mean, you guys probably know I'm quite happy with my local homebrew store, but that one was a bit bigger, tiny bit more expensive, but they did a lot more things. They even did wine press, apple presses and fruit presses, stuff like that, which I've never seen at mine. They also did these brew pack all grain kits, which I've never seen. Now the guy at my homebrew shop, he does up his own kits, but these were ones that you know, come pre-packaged by the manufacturer. So I decided to give one a go. It was the Yorkshire bitter kit. Now I've already brewed it. Obviously it's an all grain. Woohoo! So I've already brewed it, and it's currently fermenting away nicely. But what I did is I did a little video of the kit just so you can see what it looked like out of the package, and I also took a couple of videos of me doing the brew as well. So if we switch to that now, and you can find out more about the kit. So here is the Brewpack's Yorkshire Bitter Mash Kit. So it's an all grain. So it comes with this one bag here. I've already opened it just to save a bit of time. So it has all the grains in one pot here, already crushed. You then get one pack of vacuum packed foil hops, and then your yeast and your instructions. Now the instructions are a bit generic, and it doesn't actually tell you what the hop schedule is. So all it says about the hops is bittering hops for at least 60 minutes, preferably 90 minutes, any aroma hops added for the last 5 minutes. Now there's only one pack, so I've just phoned them up, and he said use 3/4 of the hops for bittering, and then the last quarter of them for your aroma hops in the last 5 minutes. Well, there you have it. It's pretty good. Quite a bit of grain and all the rest of it, but yeah, I do think really the instructions could have been a bit better. But see how the beer tastes, I suppose. Right, the mash is on. Mash temperature is 65.5, and the instruction says 64 to 67. Now I'm using my Electrim boiler as a mash tun, so I've insulated it with this thick fleecy jumper just to help keep the temperature constant. I know it's probably not as good as Cool Box mash tun, but you know, you got to make do. I'm only starting out. I've also got a new bit of kit, my homemade wort chiller. Care of Harry Brew 69's video. Cost me about 20 quid to make, as opposed to buying it for 57 quid in the shops. So thank you very much, Mr. Harry Brew. That's it for now. Obviously I'll come back when the mash is done, and I'm doing brew in the bag, by the way. I'm not sure if I said that before. So I'll come back once the mash is done, and we'll get to the boil. Cheers. Tell you what, look at that out there. That is a gorgeous spring day, even though it's technically not spring yet. All the flowers I've got come out already. Lovely jubbly. So the beer is currently just coming to temperature. I've topped up a little bit more water to get it to 23 litres. Obviously I need to top it up a bit more as we go along. And more importantly, of course, I've got a pint of homebrew on the go, because that is the law that you have to have a homebrew whilst you're brewing. Cheers. Alright, the boiler's a go. Hops are in. So timer is set for 1 hour and 25 minutes to add the aroma hops and the Irish moss and stick it in the water chiller. So I'm going to go and smoke this in the garden in the meantime, because it looks bloody lovely out there. There you go. I would say in summary then, good points for me was the fact it was a complete all grain kit. Some of the kits you buy, they do actually have, you know, the additions of sugar in, which really you shouldn't. It should be all grain, no sugar, really, if it's a true all grain recipe. Another benefit as well is, I don't know, just the fact that it gives you a few ideas. You know, they're not clone beers, it's just ideas that which you can work a base on, and you know, it's all in one package, which is great. Disadvantages, I would say, I already touched upon it earlier, the instructions weren't great. Didn't tell you the hop schedule at all, so you just had to guess that really, and I phoned them up in the end, as I think I mentioned earlier, you know, to find out exactly how much I was supposed to use for aroma and how much I was supposed to use for bitterness. The other thing as well, there was actually no Irish moss in there, so you know, if you're expecting it to be an all-in-one for ingredients, you would need to make sure you had some Irish moss. Fortunately, I noticed there wasn't any when I was in Norwich, and I picked some up from my local homebrew shop for dirt cheap, £2 I think it was for £2 for a 30-gram big old tub like that, so you can't really argue. But again, you know, the other kits that I get from my local homebrew shop, he has a little bit of Irish moss in there as well. But yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? Just to be aware of that if you pick them up. But I'll give it a go. Obviously, we'll find out how it tastes, and I shall make sure I let you know once I've had a good old taste of it. So obviously, I did a second all grain brew. Now, I got a bit stressed out last time when I did my first all grain, because I didn't have any way of cooling the water. I tried to use ice blocks, that messed it up, diluted it, made it too weak. It was a nightmare. So I decided to get myself one of these. Dun, 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 dun. Now I'm going to take the video to give you a close-up. So this is to give you a close-up of my water chiller. Now, Harry Brew 69 has a really good video on how to make these. So I didn't bother doing a video of how I made it, because he watches video. It's exactly how I learned how to do it. I'm not gonna. There's no point in me going through it all when you can just watch his video, and you know, maybe give him a subscribe as well, because he's a good lad. So what this is basically you get 10 meters of copper tubing, and you wrap it around a paint tin. You then have to wrap one end up through the middle. There's a few kinks where I bent it, which you should try and avoid really doing, but I'm not brilliant at these sort of things, but it still works absolutely perfectly fine. I've used it and it works fine. So you bend them up, then you get a couple of Jubilee clips, which are these things here. Pretty easy to get hold of. Any good plumbing supply will get them for you. A couple of bits of ordinary hose pipe. Doesn't have to be food grade, because remember that the cold water just goes through the tubes, and it doesn't actually ever go into the wort, so you don't need to worry about it being food grade. 2 bits of hose, and then on one of the bits of hose I've just got a tap connector so I can hook it up to my outside tap, and then just put the hose pipe through the kitchen window. Job done. So yeah, I'm pretty proud with that, I must say. So check out Harry Brew 69's channel if you want to know how to make one. Right, let's move that out of the way again, sorry. So there you go, that was a, I'm quite pleased with myself for that. It's not perfect, there's a few kinks, whatever, but it works absolutely fine, and it cost me probably about a third of what it would to buy one pre-made, so I'm very happy with that. What else I've been up to? Well, I put on the Cooper Stout finally. Obviously, I was supposed to get that ready for St. Patrick's Day. That was Monday, so I missed the boat on that one, but I had to have a couple of Guinnesses instead. However, it's bottled. I like the beer anyway. I do like that stout, so it's bottled and it'll be ready in about another week. So I can start drinking that at my leisure, as it were. So that's absolutely fine. I've got Cooper's European Lager on the ferment at the moment as well, which I think is actually done, and I'll bottle that this weekend. That's good. My mum's birthday party in May, and we're having a bit of a gathering at my house, so I'll make sure I've got plenty of lager and ale to feed the troops. Yes. So I think that's about it. I've covered my all grain kit. Also, while I was in Norwich, I picked up this book for 98p. Another brewing book. I've got my big brewing book, but again, this is you know what? I'll show you. It's mainly wine actually, and a few beers. Spruce, yeah. So I'll show you that now. So this is the book I bought. It's called Brewing: Step-by-Step Guide to Making Beer, Wine and Cider. So I've already got brewing books for 98p. It was on offer, probably trying to get a shot of it. So you got weird thing now: elderflower sparkling wine, coarse wine, pear wine, loganberry wine, country style perry, sparkling spider, oatmeal stout, dunkelweizen. Loads of stuff. It actually gives you, it actually suggests when to brew by seasons as well, and it's got other things like explaining sparge bags and all that. So yeah, I'll probably give it a read at some point. 98p, can't really go wrong, and if nothing else, it just makes the beer bookcase look a bit thicker, which is always good to see. Yeah, so what I was saying about my capper, in case you can't remember, I got one of these bench capper bad boys. So what it does is this, traditionally it was these bottles here. Don't know how it comes out, but they've got kind of like a double ridge. It's a ridge there, and then it ridges over again. And that was always a nightmare. The Witchwood bottles are also quite difficult to do. They're a nightmare with the wing cap to work, but with that, just plows through it in no time. Fantastic bit of kit. Definitely recommend you get one. I've also done a little bit more remodelling in the brew cave. I've got these now, which I've got loads of stuff in. I've got some of my ingredients, all my fermenting stuff, bottling stuff, sort of sweetener and other bits and bobs, grains in there, bottle caps, and some hops and sparge and hops and grain bags. So yeah, fantastico. Yeah, so really I'm going to be planning my next all grain batch now. I'm not sure I want to go back to kits. Now I've caught the bug. I just think my last all grain was so much more chilled out. I was a bit more familiar with the process. I wasn't stressing as much. It was actually a really enjoyable experience. Sort of chilled out, enjoyed the brew day. I popped out and had a cigar in the garden while it was boiling, because it was a really nice sunny day, and yeah, it was awesome. So I'm definitely been hitting some more all grain. The recipe book my friend got me has got a nice recipe for a strawberry beer, which looks really nice. Had it before and it is really tasty, so I'm definitely going to give that a go. So that's nearly it from me, guys. Just one more thing before I go. There is another project I've been working on. First started it back in early December, and you know, it's been going for quite a while now, and it has probably got another 6 months till it's complete. But I have taken a progress photo for you, so I'll flash that up now and you can see how it's getting on. Right, I think that's pretty obvious to everyone what that was. Yes, I'm going to be a dad. Mini Kojak is due on the 7th of September, so really excited. My wife and I are absolutely ecstatic and over the moon. I think I'll have to drink to that. Cheers. So on that note, I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you to all my new subscribers and all my loyal ones, as I always say. I'm up to over 320 now, which is, you know, really good. I'd love to get to 500, I'm not going to lie, and when I do, I'm probably going to have a little bit of a giveaway, send some prizes out, etc. to some of my loyal viewers.